Hey everybody, Skip from Eastern Adventures with the first in a series of tabletop reviews. And today, we have a package from LT Wright. Alright guys, we're back, so let's get right to it. So, we'll open this with another LT, Frontier first. Guys, get this out of our way. All right, everybody. So, the packaging from LT as it comes. We have our box with the LT Wright sticker. The quality is in our name, ltwright.com. And what's in the box, guys? Well, it's the Genesis in matte black and A2 steel, scandi grind. So, guys, the Genesis is a great model, designed by LT, pretty much his flagship model, and it's something that I've wanted for a long time, so I'm super excited, guys, to get my hands on this and try it out. So, we have a note here from LT, and this is actually some care instructions, a nice little thank you note, and it will tell you how to keep care of your blade and the leather or kydex care as well. So, okay, this is really nice, guys, from LT and the team. Thank you, Scooter and LT, Elaine, everybody on the team. Thank you so much. So, all right, guys, let's see what is in the box. All right, so we have some tissue paper, and we come to our JRE, sheath. I opted for the option with sheath. You can get the knife with or without. I got it with the dangler option and fire steel loop. Jerry makes a very nice sheath. A little light on the leather, the weight, the thickness for my liking, but they're very nice sheaths and they wear very well. And they're so light they do, it is nice carrying a lighter weight sheath because it does cut down on that weight on your belt. So. Great sheath, guys. It comes with the LT knives. So get that out of our way. And the knife itself. So, alright, guys. Now, this is a Kephart style handle. So, a broomstick style it is also known. And here we go, guys. There it is. A2. And the LT Wright stamping. Alright, guys. We have our thumb scallops right here. So we get a good pinch grip. LT Wright famous spine. Sharpened spine. And the modified drop point or spear point. Beautiful, guys. Feels very good in hand. Also, 0 degree scandi grind with a highly polished, buffed edge or apex, which really gives stability to this edge and extremely hair-splitting sharp. So, all right, guys. I also wanted to mention that I ordered this off the website ltwright.com. And guys, I got my confirmation on the 4th, and today's the 9th. It was delivered today, so that's awesome shipping and service. I don't know if this was on hand or if it was built in that time frame, but thank you guys for getting this to me so quick. I really appreciate it. So, all right, guys, let's move the camera. And let's see what we can do with this. All right, guys, before we go over to the stump, let's actually compare this to the couple models here. I have a few models from LT Wright and a few models from Bark River Knives to compare. So again, this is a 9-inch overall with a 4 1/4 inch cutting surface. So first we have another LT. So this is the Woodland Pro 4.0, and as you can see, if we line them up, we have a little bit longer blade length on the Genesis and a little bit longer handle length as well. So a little more compact. Also scandi grind, thumb scallops, and guys, this is a very great feeling knife in hand, at least to me. I really do like it. So here is another LT, and get this in the shot. So this is the LT Wright switchback, guys. Scandi ground as well. And let's actually switch places here with these two. And as you can see now, the handle is just a little shorter on the switchback, and we got about 3/4 of an inch or so blade length on the switchback as well. So a couple options, guys, out there. Now some offerings from Bark River. A couple that everyone should be pretty familiar with. We have the Bravo 1. Now this is the LT model, the Bravo 1 LT. It is rampless, drop point, and as you can see, guys, they are very close in length, handle and cutting length. So this is a very good comparable option. Now we have the, this comes standard with the standard point, but I opted for a drop point on this, as we could get this actually from Bark River through a pre-order with a spear point. We would lose a little blade length, but that is an option. So, and another offering from Bark River Knives is the Gunny Scandi. The Gunny Scandi, guys. And this one, guys, is coming up on the production list for Bark River this year. So I'm not sure if the pre-order is still open or not, but if it is, you should jump on it because this is an incredible knife, guys. We will be doing a review on both of these knives as well. So, all right, guys. There are some offerings from a couple, well, from Bark River and LT Wright. Some comparable options. Now let's take this over to the cutting stump, guys. Be right back. All right, we're back at our stump. And we have with us our LT Wright Genesis. Now we're gonna split up a couple rounds here and get a little fire going. Boil up a cup of coffee, and then we're gonna take some cherry, seasoned cherry that was in my wood pile, and we're going to make a spindle with it and a fireboard. Spindle and a fireboard, and see if we can get a friction fire going out of this. I have some dried grasses over here drying in the air. It's been raining this morning. Up until I started filming, it was on and off rain, so everything is wet. Now this wood was undercover, so I'm hoping the humidity is low enough and this is dry enough that we can get an ember out of it. So we'll see, guys. So we got about, oh boy, it's about 3 1/4, 3 1/2 inch, probably, guys, by 6 or 7, 6 1/2, 7. So let's see what we can do here. We'll take our dried cherry as a baton. All right, guys. Wow. Look at that, guys. And I do believe this is maple. It is definitely a hardwood. But that took pretty much no effort at all, guys. So let's see what we can do here. Let's get some small kindling split up. Get our fire going. guys, this is doing a great job here. Guys, so let's get a little fire going here in my backpacking stove, and we'll get a cup of coffee on. So here's what we got from a quarter of our round. Pretty good, guys. So now let's see if we can use the Genesis here to get a piece of bark to scrape our fat wood onto and transfer it over into our fire. So separate our bark without breaking it. Guys, that should work. Now we're going to be using fat wood, so this wet, damp inner bark isn't that big of a deal, but get all the excess strands off. This LT spine that you can see, guys, it just rips and tears. I've never encountered anything like an LT spine. So, all right, guys, we got a healthy stick of fat wood here. Let's test the spine out on it. As you can see, no match for an LT Wright spine. And these thumb scallops, guys, are great, feel great for holding this in a scraping handheld. Guys, nice healthy pile. And we always want to clean off the spine of our knife after scraping fat wood before attempting to scrape our ferro rod or fire steel. Alright guys, that's more than enough. This is some potent fat wood. So spread this out a little bit and give ourselves some more surface area for a little bit more extended burn. And this is not going to be a problem, guys. So, all right, let's test out our spine. good spot here on fire steel. Guys, let's get this transferred. All right, guys, we're back. The wind really has picked up here. The fire is ripping, so just about ready to get some water put on the fire here. Get some coffee going. While we process down our spindle and fireboard, excuse me. Burning myself. She is ripping. And our water. All right, guys, we're back. Got our water on here. Now we're gonna see if we can make a spindle out of this cherry. Looks like we can get a straight section out of it to about, I don't know, about there. Alright guys, we're back. And our water is ready, so let's pour ourselves a cup of coffee. Too hot. And we're going to go with a little Juan Valdez instant coffee today. For an instant coffee, this stuff is really good in my opinion. So you just dump some in. That's about right. And a little more from above. Stir it around with some newly acquired Genesis. Because here on Eastern Adventures, guys, we do use our knives. Aroma smells so good. It's a cold, wet, damp day here in central Pennsylvania, guys. Right. And we'll wipe our blade steel off. This is a 2 guys, so it does have good corrosion resistance, but that does not mean that it won't rust. So get that wiped off. And let this cool down for a minute, guys. All right, so back to our spindle. Now, one side we want to come down about 1.5 inches, and we're going to bring that to a point, and that's going to go into our bearing block end. The other end, we're going to come down 1/4 inch. We're going to cut facets the whole way around, and we're going to come up to about 1/8 inch, do the same thing, about a 1/16 inch, do the same thing. That'll give us a nice round shape with lots of surface area. And guys, this is a technique that I learned from David West on the David West channel. If you haven't checked him out, he is the fire god, guys. So give him a like, subscribe to his channel, check him out. Awesome content. So we're gonna take one side and we're just gonna bring it to a point from about 1.5 inches back. And we're gonna come to the other side and do the same thing. Making sure to keep our point in the center. And then we'll turn it 90 degrees, take it down. Same thing on the final side. Always making sure that our cuts are where we want them to be by checking constantly, making sure we're not drifting off one side or the other. And then we will just finish off by taking off the high edges and bringing her to a point. So about like that, guys. Round it off a little bit. I'll tell you what, these LT Wright edges are phenomenal. Okay guys, something like that. Now on the other side, we're going to come down about 1/4 inch here. And go the whole way around. Okay, once we've made it the way around, we're going to come up to about 1/8 inch. Do the same thing. And then finally split that in half and go around one last time. guys, and should be left with something like that. So not terrible, guys. That should work plenty fine for us. So now what we're gonna do here for our fireboard is looks like we can get a pretty flat section right here. So I'm gonna cut this down and I'll be right back with you guys. All right, guys, we have this cut down to size now where we can get a good straight piece out of it. If you look at it, a little bit curved this way, but I think we can make it work. So we're gonna look for any natural splits, and we do have some here. So we're gonna try to take it down, follow that. Okay, and you can see that nice cherry color. Now I'm going to use whichever side is the flattest, which, to be honest with you, these are both pretty twisted up, but I think we can make it work. Guys, I think I'm going to go with this piece right here. And now we're just going to try to flatten this out a little bit better. And as you can see, that 1/8 inch blade for that scandi grind is just hogging this wood away. And this is some hard seasoned wood, guys. This is not green, soft wood. guys, I think that'll do. Alright, so now what we're going to do is I'm just going to use a little bit of this for now. Make this is hard stuff, guys. I don't know if you guys can see that edge, but it's untouched, razor sharp still. Oh yeah. Alright guys, I'm going to clean this up and I'll be right back with you. Alright guys, we're back. So I decided after further review that this was too crooked, so I cut it down and we're left with something looking something like this. So we're going to use a piece of fatwood for a bearing block. We'll drill a hole in here, a divot, and we'll make a divot in here as well for our hot end. So let's start off with our fatwood. And guys, I'm already liking the profile of the tip on the Genesis. This friction fire is my favorite form of firecraft and my most used as well. So there we go, guys. And the fatwood resin will glaze over in our hole and give us a nice frictionless fit. So now for our divot in our bearing block. So let's see, I think I'm gonna hold it here. So make our divot right about here. So far this is working excellent at carving out our divot, and a lot of tips on different styles of knives aren't very good at doing this, getting that nice round divot. Just about there. Blade. I'm gonna choke up a little bit on the blade here. A little better control. And guys, that should be pretty good. Alright guys, let me get my bow and we will be right back with you. Alright guys, here in the upcoming weeks I'm going to do another video on how to make a bow drill set on the fly in the woods with material we find right there in the woods on the spot. So I need a little bit of a dry stretch for that, about 7 days or so, and it's been raining a lot here, so hopefully we get that. But for now, guys, this is going to work really good. I just gave it a few spins to make sure everything was working well before I turned on the camera. So we're going to load our bow here. Guys, let's see if I can get this in good camera view for you. And you can actually see already, guys, the resin building up in there in the fatwood handheld, and that will give you a nice frictionless fit. So, all right guys, let's see if we can get this burn in, and we'll cut our notch. So make sure we lock our hand against our leg, give ourselves a nice steady rest. And this is not a very solid platform. I recommend a solid platform, but we'll see if we can make do here. So here we go, guys. Alright guys, that didn't take very long at all. You can see what we got there on the other end, our bearing block and our fireboard. So we'll cut our notch, and a mistake I made there, guys. You could see the string was riding up the spindle. That's something we want to avoid. We want to keep it in the lower third of the spindle. So it actually was about ready to pop out. I didn't really get my burn in as far as I wanted, but that'll be all right. We can probably get 2 or 3 fires out of this one board, or this one notch. So let me cut the notch, and I'll be right back with you guys. All right guys, we're back, and we got our notch cut. And what I like to do is I like to actually take and chamfer the bottom edges on the bottom. And what that does is that allows for more airflow to get to your ember, and it also prevents your notch from clogging. So we got our ember catch. Let's just go for this, guys. Let's see if we can get a fire going. Now I do have some dried grasses that I've had laying out. Like I said earlier, it's been raining all morning, so they were wet when I picked them when I started this video, and they've been air drying now for about an hour. That should be more than enough time for them to ignite with a good ember. So, alright guys, remember we want to keep this on the bottom third for spindle. And we'll get our bearing block. Alright guys, let's see what we can do. All right, guys. So we got a good pile of dust, but we didn't get an ember out of that, so we need some more heat. Let's try again. Fix up our edges here. Inspect everything. Clean this up a little bit. And go around one time here, hit our 1/4 inch mark where we started our facets. All right, guys, let's attempt this again. This time we need a little more heat. We'll keep our rep steady. Actually gonna clean this out too, guys, just a little bit. Fresh resin in there. Alright, guys, should be good. Attempt number 2, we'll make our adjustments and we should get an ember this time. Alright, guys. Alright, guys, we're back. So 2 attempts were videoed, both fails. I think what's going on is there's just too much moisture in this wood. Like I said, it's been raining in central Pennsylvania here. It's raining all the time. It's pretty much Seattle. So it was raining all morning even though this was covered. I think there's just moisture in this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this stuff in my furnace room for a few days and we'll try it again, see what happens then. So that should give us an answer if it's moisture. And as you can see, we did get, and this got bumped around and blew around, but we do have a decent pile for an ember, and it was smoking. It was hard to see in the footage, but I did have good smoke. The wind was kind of blowing it back towards me. It just did not ignite. So anyway, guys, that's what we do here. We practice and sometimes we fail, and the only way to get better is to keep practicing no matter what. We don't give up. So final thoughts on the LT Wright Genesis Scandi grind in A2. No surprise here, guys. There's not a single edge roll on this, and it is still, let's see if I can do this without cutting myself, guys. Razor sharp. So, no surprise, guys, LT Wright puts out amazing knives. His heat treat is right on. His steels are great. Fit and finish is top notch. And the feeling of this in the hand is just so secure and comfortable in all grips. It's a great knife. So, thank you guys again over at the LT shop. You guys put out amazing stuff. We're gonna do a lot of reviews in the future with LT products. So again, guys, thanks for joining me here at Eastern Adventures. We look forward to seeing you again. Please join us once again. And until then, guys, enjoy the outdoors. We'll see you next time.